Okay, so as you guys probably saw yesterday, a new Batman Arkham game is in development at Rocksteady Studios, according to a pretty reputable leaker and editor-in-chief at a legitimate games journalism source, which I do think differentiates this rumor from other rumors that originate on Twitter, 4chan, etc., that are not as reliable. I personally do think this is true. So now let's talk about how fans have reacted to it. I think overwhelmingly it's been positive. Overwhelmingly, people have had a positive response to this on Twitter. There certainly has been some backlash, and I wanted to address that and give my take on some of this, and also want to discuss what I would like to see from the game and what direction I could see them going. So in terms of the backlash that people have responded, I think a lot of the criticism has been, well, we want to see the studio make other games, and we want to see a Superman game or Flash game, and just filmed Anonymous Throwdown yesterday with Salvage and Jake, and we actually talked about how, well, we do have a Wonder Woman game on the way, and I think that will be our pilot to see, can WB really execute at a high level another game outside of Batman Arkham, because it's failed to do so with Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad. And so with Rocksteady and W Montreal, I do think they should go back to being Arkham developers, and maybe Monolith or somebody else can do Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, these sort of games. So I do think that we have something on the way. It's not like we're never getting another game besides Arkham. We are getting Wonder Woman very soon, in probably a year or two, if I had to guess. So that's not too far away. Now, as for the direction I would like to see them go with this game, there's a couple of things that I think are really interesting. One thing that I actually ended up liking but didn't think I would like is, as many of you know, I'm a Call of Duty player. I was sort of competitive, semi-pro Call of Duty player of sorts when I was actually around the time I was building this channel. And so I really have liked Call of Duty for a long time. And one thing that I didn't love was how they were sort of rehashing the old games. Like they were going back and remaking Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. By the end of it, though, I actually really liked it. And the reason why is because it sort of innovated the system. It made the gameplay more fluid and things like this. And they brought back old maps but made the color and map design better on them and things like this. And they basically just remade the games more or less, but innovated them dramatically. And I think that model could actually work for Batman Arkham insofar as we get a new story. So I want to be clear. I'm not saying that you just remake the story of Batman Arkham Asylum. That's one thing I'm not so sure about Modern Warfare doing, with kind of rehashing the same story beats. However, I certainly could see them doing that. You know, let's imagine, for instance, if they went with this model, that they're like, okay, we're going to remake Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. So we're going to in this case, we're going to remake Arkham Asylum. Well, if they were to remake Arkham Asylum in 2024, they would dramatically expand the map, probably. They would add in more villains, more side missions. The combat would be fast like it is in Arkham Knight, even better, hopefully, than Arkham Knight. Maybe there's like the Batmobile. Maybe it connects to Gotham, so you go from Arkham Asylum out into Gotham. Maybe you have additional side missions or heroes. Maybe the Bat family is involved, as opposed to the scope of Arkham Asylum, which was more limited, just Batman, not any supporting cast besides Oracle, I suppose. These sort of things. So like, as you start to think about it and you realize if they did go in this direction, which I'm not saying they should, I'm just saying it's interesting, the formula that Modern Warfare that Call of Duty created, is that they're sort of leveraging the name of the existing games and they're borrowing a lot of things from it, but they're also innovating. They're bringing new things to the table. And I do think that's a very interesting model that Arkham could leverage. And if you incorporate W Montreal and Rocksteady, and they're on an alternating cycle, similar to Call of Duty, where they have Treyarch and Infinity Ward, and if you alternate between developers, you could get a new game every 2 years at most, maybe every 18 months. You could get a new Arkham game. And if you release a new Arkham game every other October, I just think it would sell so well, and you could expand the existing Arkhamverse, which is the other option. So the option that I outlined is you reboot the Arkham universe and you start from ground zero, okay? And you still call it Arkham, but you're rebooting it, much like they did with Call of Duty, which was basically a soft reboot, more or less. The characters stayed the same. but it was a new universe. It was a new canon. Okay. Now, the other option is you build on Arkham as it currently exists. Okay. Now, the limitation of this, and the reason that you understand why Call of Duty decided to reboot Modern Warfare instead of doing Modern Warfare 4, Modern Warfare 5, Modern Warfare 6, is because, yeah, it is a little bit more limited in terms of what you can do, because a lot has already been covered. A lot has already been done in the universe. And I think this is true for Arkham. We've already gotten the Joker death, right? So, like, can you bring back the Joker again if it's in the existing continuity? Well, they already killed the Joker in City, and then they brought him back in Night. So they already brought him back once in a way that it was kind of like, okay, can you really bring him back? Sure. Okay, we'll let it slide because it was so good the way it was executed. Can you do that again, though? No. And then if you don't bring Joker back, how does that impact sales? And when you look at the Arkham games, all 4 of them are about Batman and the Joker. The main villain of every Arkham game is the Joker, even Arkham Knight, if you really look at it. And sure, it's more metaphorical or surreptitious in Arkham Knight, but you could make that case that it really is Batman and the Joker again in Knight. Certainly is the case with City, Asylum, and Origins. Okay, so it would be a little bit weird to have an Arkham game without the Joker in it at all. I'm not saying they couldn't do it. I'm just saying that it's never been done before. And even the games we thought that we were getting that didn't have the Joker, like Origins and Night, ended up having the Joker, okay? And so the Arkham games are very much so about the duality of Batman and the Joker. That's what all of them really come back to, okay? And so if you do an Arkham Knight sequel, that would be a consideration. So I think, again, there's 3 main options, and I think I know which one the fans want. The first is the Call of Duty model. Remake the games, restart the continuity, but keep the Arkham branding and name, okay? The second option is make additional games in the current continuity. Okay, so what this would look like is make an Arkham Origins 2, make an Arkham Knight 2, like this sort of thing. Basically build on the continuity, maybe make a game before Arkham Origins. You could do that. You could do a game between Origins and Asylum, Arkham Origins 2. You could do a game between Asylum and City, theoretically. These sort of things, okay? So build on the existing Arkham continuity is option 2. Option 3, which I think fans want the most, is to do a Batman Beyond Arkham. So stay in the Arkham continuity, the existing continuity as we currently have it, but jump forward into the future and then bring in Damian Wayne, Terry McGinnis, which, by the way, I mean, they were developing this game. And I was the first to report on this many years ago. And not to toot my own horn, but, I'm just going to be honest. I was the first to report this, and people were saying, no, you're wrong, it's not true. But it ended up being true, and all the concept art I was reporting on years later came out, and people actually saw what I had seen years prior. Okay, so they were developing, sorry for the background noise, so they were actually developing that game. Okay, they were developing a Beyond Arkham of sorts that had Damian Wayne. It was more futuristic, off-the-wall villains. I don't know that they were going to call it Beyond Arkham, but that's basically what it was. And instead of Terry McGinnis, it was Damian Wayne, okay, in the Beyond Arkham format. So they already were developing it, and they axed it, which makes me a little bit trepidatious, if I'm just being honest, that they would go back to that. That they would call it, that they would make that same sort of structure. I don't necessarily know why they scrapped the Damian Arkham game. I do know that it was fairly far in. Okay, so it wasn't like they just worked on it for 2 weeks and then quit. Okay, like they had done a substantial amount of work. It was well beyond the concept art phase. Okay, and unfortunately, why was the game axed? I don't really know. I think it wasn't working in the way that they wanted it to, and it wasn't necessarily up to the quality they felt of the other Arkham games. So that's really where I'm at with this stuff. I think those are the 3 options that they have. I think any 3 are fine. I think if you do Arkham Origins 2, that would work. If you restart Arkham, you do a soft reboot of sorts and make new stories, but maybe rehash Asylum and City in some ways. I think that would work and be fine if they want to reboot the continuity. I also think that that perhaps gives them the most flexibility, and maybe with Call of Duty paving the way and doing that so successfully. And by successfully, by the way, I mean some people complain about the games, but they make unlimited amounts of money, right? And that I do think could maybe make them the most money. And knowing WB, that might be what they decide to do. And also WB, what we know about them is that they're like trend chasers. So WB, they like look at what other people are doing, and then they think about how can we copy that. That's their whole thing with games as a service. Their whole thing with Suicide Squad and Gotham Knights is, oh, all these other games as a service games make all this money. Why can't we do that, right? So they're kind of clout chasers. They kind of just follow the winds of the industry and what other people are doing, more or less. So that makes me think that might be the direction they go in, but I don't know for sure, of course. I have no inside information. It's just speculation. The Beyond Arkham is interesting. That could be very, very interesting. In a certain sense, though, Beyond Arkham could work especially if they kind of do what Gotham Knights was supposed to be, which is weird because Gotham Knights picks up where Arkham Knight ends, but it's not connected, right? And so if you had Beyond Arkham, if you had Damian Wayne, Batman come in, but you also had the Bat family of Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, etc., that could be interesting and that could work. The problem with this is that, which was always my problem with the Beyond Arkham game before, is that it wasn't set up very well. So to bring in Damian Wayne, there was no setup for this, you know? But I certainly could see that working. So let me know which of those three options you want to see, if any, and if it's a fourth, let me know. And I look forward to reading your comments down below, and excited to be talking about Arkham. I mean, I think we're still a wide ways away from getting the game, but I do believe these rumors, and I do think this is happening. What I'm excited for is Arkham Shadows is next month, and I'm going to play the game, hopefully with Salvage and Jake in Arizona, actually. And so I'm really, really looking forward to that and being able to play Batman Arkham Shadow. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you all later.